Hello boys and girls, it's Grimner again here with some updates on my Minion build. Actually, there's not much that has changed. Basically assume if there is something that I don't mention that has changed, it is the same as it was before. Like the passive tree is pretty much the same. Nothing really has changed. I have moved some points around, but those are like completely, you know, more fit to whatever you want to change, because some of the things, like I have 8 points here in energy shield, I have like no energy shield, so I could remove those and the build would be pretty much exactly the same. But we do have some gear changes. The most important one I would say is the Winter of Origin, which I will show you actually what's going on with that one. Basically, it is a belt that will give you some really nice buffs. Every time you use any minion skill, whether it be Dark Gate or summoning your minions, you get 1 stack of Focus Blessing, and when you reach your maximum stacks, you basically use up all of your stacks, and you will gain a pretty nice buff depending on how many stacks you consume. And as far as I can tell, this is actually a multiplier. At least it feels like it, because the buff is really considerable. It's like 20 to 30% more damage on top of what you already had before using the belt. And the other stats are also pretty nice. So the other thing is there is, as you could see, the price is not too terrible. You can literally buy these for like 10 to 15 FE, so it's actually super cheap for how good it is. But there is, I like to use this one because it gives you 2 extra stacks of Focus Blessing by default. So that's how much? Yeah, that's 12% additional minion damage just permanently on you. And it gives you 2 more of these buffs. So that's 10% minion attack speed up and 20% skill radius. So that's very nice. But this one is like 120 to 200 FE, but it's not necessary. You can just ditch this and you will be fine. It's okay, it's totally fine. It's still gonna give you mad DPS. And the next one is going to be the Warhorn, which will basically make it so you can summon not just 3 plus 3 golems, so 6 in total, but 8. Don't mix it up with this modifier on Decayed Mind. This does something else. This does not increase the maximum cap of how many minions you can have. This just makes it sure that you can summon more of them. But if you can already summon 3 of them on each skill, it won't change much. But this one gives you extra cap. This is kind of a little bit more expensive. If you look at actually I can show you on Trade House, so you can kind of see it slightly better, because I don't want to also like trick you or something. So we can actually look for the modifiers that we want. Let's go get some cooldown recovery, because that's also very important, of course, for the overload, so you can sustain it more easily and maybe drop some CDR somewhere else for some other modifiers. And let's go for 2 of these. So as you can see, like this one, for example, you can buy this one. It's gonna work just fine. There's, like this one has a lot of minus minion damage, but if you don't have too much FE, you can start with it. It's okay. Basically on this item, it's gonna be minus 30% minion damage. It's not bad. Like your wands will probably have like over 150 each, so it's really not a big deal. Don't stress about it. But if you do have the FE, you can buy some nicer ones that have like almost perfect stats, or like double corroded ones. If you corrode this stat, you can get up to +3 extra golems, but that's like super RNG, because it can roll to -3 as well. So that's just kind of one more thing that you can min-max. Outside of that, what else do we have? Oh yeah, and skills, one thing has changed. We replaced the, what's it called? Steamroll. we replace Steamroll with Mark because we kind of get a lot of AoE from the Winter of Origin buff, and we kind of don't really need like AoE damage. I was previously running a tier 7 map with only one of my minions, and it was pretty much as fast as using all 8 of them. So for mapping, it literally doesn't matter. You just get like pretty nutty increase in terms of single target DPS. All the other things are basically unchanged. I have just put this on seal conversion, the flat ones, so I just seal 92 life to gain a bunch of mana regen and some movement speed. All these buffs are the same. Yeah, and that's pretty much about it, I would say. I do have some really good wands right now, but you don't really need them to deal decent damage. Unfortunately, I don't have like any okay wands. I have these ones that are pretty much white, but you know, okay, I'll just equip these and I'll show you that I'm still dealing some DPS. It's not absolutely completely horrible. Let's buff this up to a normal extent. You know, it's still ideal. Like this can go up to like 40 mil. I was testing this previously, so it's not that bad. It's not great, but you know, this is kind of just for demonstration that I'm still dealing pretty good, like up to 40 mil DPS even with super trash wands. So just go for like tier 1, tier 2 minion damage, tier 1, tier 2 cooldown recovery, minion speed, and double damage. That's pretty much all you need for starters, and you will be able to get up to some maybe 80 million DPS with this setup. So don't be too scared about these minion skill levels. You don't really need them that much. Also, this helmet base is pretty nice if you can get one and craft something good on it. It's very good because by default it has plus up to 40% increased minion critical chance rating. So you can get this base pretty cheap for like a couple of FE and craft, you know, something decent with some DD maybe and your defensive stats that you need. Outside of that, everything else is unchanged. So that's kind of that TLDR. It's just Warhorn, Winter of Origin, and try to upgrade your wands. And that's about it. And replace the Steamroll with Mark on your machine guards. That's it. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me today. I know it's not really much of an update, but I just kind of wanted to show people that maybe are kind of struggling for now to upgrade their gear. There are a couple of things that you can upgrade for pretty cheap that will give you good DPS, so you can very, very quickly farm your tier 7s and maybe even tier 8s. Alright, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.